Hello there, and welcome back to M. Price Can Read. As you may or may not know, I am M. Price, and I can indeed read. And today we're going to be talking about something that I did, in fact, read on the worldwide internets. I've been seeing it a lot. I've seen it a lot over the past few years, and it's kind of like taken me by. It always piques my interest when I see it, and I seem to see it more often every single time I go on the internet, which is, why I don't do it that much. But it just seems like there's so much that isn't real, like that is totally fake. And I don't mean like the ho ho ho, like, shallow social media, um, you know, the fakeness of that, but the idea that quite literally the majority of the internet are just bots or scams or just stuff that's auto generated where it's just astounding that either real people are falling for this complete nonsense out there, and that there's just so much nonsense that it's like, one, who is even at the computer somewhere generating all this, who's falling for it, why does it exist, and why is it so omnipresent that it's even coming across my view, someone who's barely even on it in the first place, much less someone who's inundated in this stuff all the time. But so like I'm into investing, I'm into a lot of that fun stuff, and it seems to be the worst on anything related towards making money, especially on YouTube. And what I mean by that is, like, you'll see any kind of video. I guess in short, how I got to this, the inspiration for making this is, I'm one of those assholes who's into crypto, and there was like a random crypto ad that popped up on my screen for I can never pronounce it because I just cannot pronounce words. Arbitrage, arbitrage. The strategy where you buy and sell the same asset, but at different exchanges who have like a slightly different price for the asset, so you can kind of cheat your way to get in a little more money. I mean, it's not cheating, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just one of those goofy things. And it's an arbitrage video made by this obvious grifter who just shows up randomly whenever I open my phone. It seems like this guy's stalking me. Maybe he is. And he's, of course, just saying, you got to do this, you got to do that, because I just clicked on it because I was like, okay, what could this possibly be? And I clicked on it, and he's spewing this obvious scam, and of course in like 2 minutes time he rounds it back to, but if you join my website and sign up for my program and do this and do that and give me commission and give me pay my subscription fees and do all that stuff, just obviously trying to squeeze money out of you. But then you go into like the comment sections for these videos, and it's like, it's like the same thing over and over and over again. And of course now my computer is not. Come on, computer, please. You see, it's like my computer's fighting back, trying to get me to not read this stuff. But it's always something like, everyone should read, this book before making another financial decision. Norman Vitale's down-to-earth approach makes complex investing concepts easy to understand. Norman Vitale's advice has been a game changer for my financial health. I reduced my debt by 50% in just 6 months. Keep in mind, this video isn't about this Norman guy. And I watched it, it never mentions this dude at all, which is another habit of these videos. There's so many, bot comments that just are naming other, like, schemers or scammers, or just other, like, a lot of them too will say something like, hello, my name is, whatever. I have $200,000 sitting in cash, and I don't know what to do with it. In these tumultuous times, I just don't know what to do with my money, but I still want to make some profit. Does anyone have any advice? And then the first comment will be like, since I started investing with, such and such, broker or investor, I have increased my portfolio by 30% over the past 2 years. They are great. Go to their website and find out, and it's just like, who is there someone who's actually clicking on this stuff and falling for it? And just out of curiosity, I clicked on it and I went to their stuff, so I probably now have malware. And whether they're the people who are auto inserted into the feed or people who, you know, I have a question. Will someone please help me? And they get referred to this other, investor, financial advisor, and you go to their website, and it's just, it looks like something you would have made in like seventh grade, like, I forget what the classes were even called, but like seventh grade, like computer class, where you get to like, design your own cute little website off of like Canva or some shit. And, it's just like, invest with me and I will help you, if you need any assistance, I'm always here. Our purpose is to build trust and maintain long-lasting relationships with our clients. And then you zoom way down to like the fine print, and they have all these crazy fees every time you want to trade, or like a base fee to even sign up and to hold your money there in the first place. And then it gets into like some of these other videos. You have this like, all the names of these accounts that will comment will be like this kind of jumble of letters and then four number digits. There will be a bunch that will say, could you please tell me what the minimum deposit required to trade to work, or just like any other kind of generic question. And then the author of the channel will post, hey, take a closer look at attached comment. It's like, what? There's nothing attached there. There's no advice for anything. Or here's one where it says, thank you for your amazing question. Please watch to learn more. And it's like, watch what to learn more? The video that we're watching, that we're commenting on. This bot really works. The bot being the bot you're supposed to sign up for, specifically on this video to help manage your stuff. The bot really works and brings a nice profit. Thank you, the author of the video. Okay, like did your AI blueprint not work out on that one? This information is really useful. Thank you. Can you tell me what the profit depends on? Hi, from the number on the contract. Like what? Like it's just like, and it's not like this is like a one or two kind of thing. It's like just on and on and on. The madness just deepens. Certain investor name concept is key in beating all odds to excel in this form of online commodity. Her management team is quite impressive so far. With her, I made a profit of over $58,827. What? Why? This process of trading can be complicated when you have limited knowledge. However, with the right strategy and setups, you can be successful. That's the whole point of investing. Then there's a bunch of comments. And, of course, it's like, who would you recommend to, I have, the same thing. I have such and such money. Who would you recommend to provide you with the same, who's your person? And then it's that same, even though these are different people commenting, it's that same investor lady that the one 5 seconds ago just asked for. It's just all madness. So then I was like, okay, let's write all these names down. Let's look for them. Let's try to find who these beings really are, And then you look it up and you go to like Reddit, you go to like people yelling at each other on Twitter, or X, I guess. And, it's like, how trustworthy is this guy? Well, I sent over 5,000 pounds. I guess the English are gullible. Or other people have pounds, right? No, I don't know. I'm gullible too. And I sent it to him, and we joined the Discord together. And I was in the process of withdrawing the funds that he had been investing, and he got cut from the Discord server. Okay, rule number one is if there's some investing guru is trying to get you to join his Discord server, you're a fucking moron. not trying to be an asshole. Um, he has that trustworthy old wise man appearance working for him, but he makes gullible young poor people more poor by trusting him. A quick scan of his video directory will tell all the useful bullshit about passive investing. Passive investing is not useless bullshit. Or useful bullshit. God, I think I'm a bit of useless bullshit. And it just goes on and on about people getting like, scammed out of this and how they like. Oh my God! In this line of people getting scammed, someone else had some links to someone else who is, God, dare I click on them and get more malware? About here's some people who actually are trustable, and the top comment below that comment is like, dude, are you for real? This dude is such a grifter. Shows you that being one is exempt of any age. Check out my advice. Check out my advice. My website here for my advice, and it's a link to his website. And if you click on his, what do you get? Yeah, it's another guru. What a surprise. Here's a comment by a real person. Real wealthy people aren't on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube is packed with ripoff artists like myself. All these people claim to be rich to attract their customers. This is a classic scam. And I guess, yeah, he promoted FTX. Yeah, shout out FTX. Didn't he get out of prison? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Shouldn't they all be in prison? And then with that, I just think more about like, not only are all these channels flooded with bots, but like, bot comments that is, but like the channels themselves almost seem to be like bot channels. And I'm on YouTube, right? And I have like, barely any views, barely any subscribers. And I appreciate everyone that I do have. And I really hope they're not, automated bots following me. But I get emails all the time, like probably once a week, about like, hello, my name is this or that. And of course their email address will be just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I have noticed your videos and I have a way to increase your viewer count with this simple strategy. And they'll give me like, I've literally gotten like screenshots of my channel where they're just like circling shit, like just random. And they'll send it to me and say, by optimizing your channel, you can, increase your viewer flow by 20%. Just send us, this much money over Venmo, and we'll do it for you. We'll optimize your channel. And it's like, are there people who are actually paying to get this shit optimized? And once you do, it's your, how quick is it after that your bank account gets hacked? And then it's kind of just looking on my channel again. The AI must have gotten more refined since last time, because just going along with and I gotta take my glasses off so I can actually read this. The AI suggestion box for channel ideas. I just talked about dog city and investing advice, and see what popped up. And it's trying to, I kid you not, the future of Dog City, cryptocurrency, and NFTs. The potential impact of a Dog City NFT on the future of the crypto market. Like, what? Can I make some Dog City NFTs? Usually channels will sell sweatshirts and t-shirts, not us. The metaverse is barking. Dog City and the crypto revolution. Woof Woof Wallet, how NFTs are changing the canine world. I bet someone already has made Woof Woof Wallet. I'm probably too late to the game on that one. Yeah, it's just kind of like financial independence in your Dog City. Early retirement for your pup. It's not just for humans. Okay. Is your dog living paycheck to paycheck? Yeah, he sure is. I don't know. It's just like, and if you dare you ever go to like the main page of YouTube, like the trending page? It seems to me like God, I've been actively searching for these like scammers, and now I have even more scammers on my page. Um, but if you go to like the trending page, the top stuff is just all like it all looks the same. They all have like the same thumbnail. They all have like the same general. A lot of Minecraft shit. A lot of Fortnite shit. A lot of and like so much of this stuff just seems like it's just conjured out of nowhere, and it's just maximized to steal your attention and like steal your digital soul. I don't know. I don't know what I'm even talking about anymore. And it's just so depressing to know that like the internet used to be really kind of fun and like this kind of like lawless, uh, kind of Wild West place where you could post whatever you want, make funny videos. There's like an interesting charm about it. There was some, obviously like people our age who knew about the internet, or used the internet like 15, 20 years ago, saw like, you know, it used to be a lot less, a lot less. There used to be a lot less censored or filtered or, curated stuff on there. But now it seems to be curated from the other direction, you know. And what I mean by that is like the idea of like it's it's curated from the or not curated from the opposite direction is like back then you could pretty much do whatever you want, and then of course all these groups came in and rules and laws and whatever, all that stuff had to be established so that it was more of like a contained sort of system. And now with all this AI stuff, with all this scammer stuff, with all this just like inpouring of just nonsense that's just purely there to get your money, to get your attention, to basically steal you away. It's like the internet is a wild west from the sense of everything on there is fake, everything on there is a scam, everything on there is like it's like there's nothing interesting on there anymore. There used to be like you could go on the YouTube and you could find like like an hour and a half video of this guy just living his life, doing his thing, and the internet was a way for you to connect with people who you never would have connected with and who you never would have learned about their life or their way of being. And you could just watch, like an hour long video about that person. And maybe you can still do it now. It's just not as popular. But it's like the surface level of all of this is just like borderline pornographic, or really it is pornographic, just stuff meant to grab your attention, to keep you overstimulated, to pump you full of dopamine, to just like it's not fun anymore. Like it's just all garbage, and you have to like sift through the garbage to find anything worthwhile, whereas like many years ago there was crazy stuff on here, but like at least you had the confidence that that someone made it, that someone like a real person was on the other end of that video, of that story, of that whatever you were interacting with. But now it's just like everything has just been thrown into such suspicion and confusion, and the lines between what's real and what's legitimate and what's just there trying to squeeze some money out of you those lines are so blurred that it almost like every time I turn on like every time I go to YouTube or try to just even go on like my Google feed and just like see stories about things that I've searched before or interested in or general information I want to find out, every like it's almost like month to month it's getting harder to find anything of substance. Month to month it's getting harder to find anything that is actually interesting, and I just find myself interacting with it a lot less. And maybe that's the good thing of all of this, maybe it's good that there isn't anyone, on the internet anymore, that, it is all fake, it is all nonsense, because then it pushes people to like I read way more than I used to. I am in the kitchen way more than I used to be. I am way more active outside than I used to be. Like the madness of the internet world, of the digital lifestyle, where everything is just on your phone, everything's on the screen. Now more than ever, I'm off the screen because it's just so intolerable. And it's not just me, but like my friends, people I know, they're like, yeah, like I want to, let's play more board games. Let's, go hiking more. Like my whole in-law family, they're all super into cooking and making these unique, very specific things. Making their own ice cream, making their own yogurt, making their own sourdough, making their own make their own bagels every day. And it's like, hell yeah! Like I want to. One of them has their own bees and they make their own honey, and it's like, hell yeah! Like, how do I get in on this? How do I? And of course, I am. I get more and more of that, month to month as well. And I wonder at what time I'll just totally be able to like not even look at my phone. Like currently as it is now, I get 3 days off of a single charge on my phone because I just like specifically try to not use it, and I specifically try to avoid it and put off using it as much as I can because I want to get to 3 days. I want to be able to use my phone for 3 days. And keep in mind, my phone's like 5 years old. Like it's not like some fancy schmancy, ultra battery, whatever. Like it's like a Motorola phone from years ago. And, I hope that when I do eventually get a new phone with a more advanced battery, I can make it last up to 4 days, Like I want to like be away from this shit as much as possible. I say as I'm pumping more of this shit into the universe by making these videos. Anyway, at least you guys can know that I'm that I'm a real person. Oh, as real as I can be. Anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video. Just thought it'd be interesting. I thought I could, maybe rant at you for a bit and tell you to get the fuck off your phone too, and to go make a sourdough bagel. Your life will be a lot better for it. Anyway, as you know, this is M. Price. You have been listening to M. Price. M. Price can read. I can indeed read, and I recommend you go read something right now, because it's a lot better than spending your fucking time on this. So go read a book. Yeah. Bye.